Why, hello there to you again, my dear, fine, beautiful audience friends. What's up, guys? It is Cameron talking to you for the first time on my brand new podcast. I have my dad here in the studio with me, and
Yellow.
And today we will be breaking down all the playoffs. So, I'll be giving you my playoff predictions, and Dad will be giving you his. So, we'll start off in the AFC. First game is Tennessee hosting Baltimore. Dad, what's your take?
You know, it's an interesting game because Lamar Jackson is obviously the reigning MVP of the league, probably being replaced this year by Aaron Rodgers, but he's a great player, and Ryan Tannehill has had a tough career, but has really blossomed the last couple of years. So I think it's going to be a close game. Interestingly, the Ravens are favored by 4.5. I expect Tennessee to at least cover that, but I think if I were a betting man, I would take the Titans straight up in this game. I think that they pound the ball with Eddie George. I think they exhaust the Baltimore Ravens defense, and I think they'll come out on top.
Okay. I think most of the same things. I think after what happened in the playoffs last year, the Ravens will try and shut down Derrick Henry a bit more, but I don't think that's going to happen. I will be going Titans as well, thanks to Derrick Henry. Right, next up we have the 7 seed Indianapolis Colts traveling to the 2 seed Buffalo Bills. This one's interesting. The Colts have Phillip Rivers, who is he's a pretty good player, but the Bills are on a hot streak, 13-3. I don't really know what to say. I'm going Bills. Dad?
I also am going to go Bills, but I will tell you, I think that this has the potential to be the biggest blowout of the weekend. The Indianapolis Colts are a nice story, but I can't name a single player on their team past Phillip Rivers. And Phillip Rivers traditionally has not fared very well in the playoffs. And that's not to put it all entirely upon him, but the Buffalo Bills just seem to be a great story and a bit of a team of destiny this year. I think Josh Allen has a lot of potential to be a great player in the league. He already is a great player in the league. And also, Indianapolis is an indoor team, and they got to go up to Buffalo, New York in January to play in what will probably be frigid temperatures, albeit without a crowd, or at least not a large crowd.
I think I read that the families of players are allowed to attend.
Okay, so the families are going to attend. They're not going to be real loud, so that won't be a factor, but it is going to be cold. Buffalo's a great team. You don't get to 13-3 by accident. Definitely lay the 6.5 here.
Okay. For the final wild card game in the AFC, we have the Cleveland Browns traveling to division rival Pittsburgh Steelers. In Week 17, the Browns beat the Steelers in a close one. The Steelers beat the Browns. They blew out the Browns earlier in the season. I think that the Steelers are probably going to come out on top. Probably very close, but I'm going to go Steelers.
He doesn't like to draw a hard line this one. He says probably a lot. So he thinks the Steelers will probably win.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you right now, this is the toughest game of the entire weekend to call.
I do think that the Browns are going to be... They're going to be playing for something because the last time they made the playoffs, they lost to the Steelers. So I think they're going for revenge here. But... yeah.
Everybody's playing for something. It's the NFL playoffs, but
that's true.
You got to remember the Steelers are 1-4 in their last 5 games, and quite honestly, they have looked terrible. The Browns are, again, like I talked about before, a nice story this year. We see Baker Mayfield every 2 seconds if you watch any kind of broadcast TV. But the Browns, they haven't been here before. They're definitely a more immature team than the Steelers. The Steelers have Mike Tomlin. They have Ben Roethlisberger. They got Juju Smith-Schuster.
That's a hard name to say.
Easy for me to say. So this is a very, very difficult game to call. Obviously, it's going to be in Pittsburgh without a great deal of fans. But I think that Pittsburgh comes out on top just based on their experience.
Yeah, I'm actually going to change my prediction. I'm going to go Browns.
Why? Just because I went Steelers?
No, because I think the Browns actually have a good chance to win.
Such a combative kid.
Okay. So, now moving over to the NFC, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the Washington football team. Not much of a game here. I'm going to go Buccaneers because they're good and the football team is from the NFC least.
Look out. I'm telling you right now, they have the wrong team favored. Washington has a great defense. They have a great front four. They have Chase Young looking to make a statement. Tampa Bay has Tom Brady, but he is the least mobile quarterback in the league. And I think the Washington football team.
He almost said Redskins, ladies and gentlemen.
But I didn't. You did. I think that they put lots of pressure on Tom Brady. I think that they knock him off of his spot. I think that the line is way too large. It's tough to say that Washington is going to win the game, but they're certainly going to cover 7.5. But for the sake of this podcast and my own sanity, I am calling it. The Washington football team is going to shock the world and upset Tampa Bay.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Next, we have the we don't deserve to be in the playoffs Chicago Bears taking on the New Orleans Saints. And for those reasons, I think the Saints are going to win.
For what reasons? You didn't give any reasons.
That's the joke.
Oh.
Okay, just give your take.
I agree with you. The Saints are going to win this game. The Saints are a great team. They have a lot of experience. Yeah. I can't say that they're on a mission because they've been here before, but the Bears are not a good team, and they, anyone that makes the playoffs deserves to make the playoffs because they made the playoffs. But they're not a team.
Not in college football.
They're not a quality team that's going to move forward. I like the Saints, and I'd lay the 8.5.
Yeah. He says that the Saints aren't on a mission, but they are. They're trying to get Drew Brees another Super Bowl before he probably retires this offseason. In our final wild card matchup of the week, we have the Seattle Seahawks hosting the LA Rams in a rematch of what happened in Week 16. And I think what happened in Week 16 is going to happen again, just without Jared Goff. I think the Seahawks are going to win. It's going to be close in the first half, but then I think the Seahawks are going to pull away in the second.
This is my second most difficult game to call. Obviously, we live in the greater Seattle area, and we're Seahawks fans, but the Rams traditionally have had the Seahawks number, and the Rams also have the best defense in the NFL. And so based on that, that makes this a very, very difficult game to call. I think what gives the Seahawks the edge in this one, though, is that they basically could start me at quarterback, the Rams, because Jared Goff is terrible.
And it's in the cold of Seattle where the Rams are not. The Rams are used to playing in a warmer climate.
They'll possibly be playing a backup quarterback because Jared Goff has an injured thumb. I think that this is going to be a close game, so I could see the Rams covering the 4.5, but the Seahawks are going to come out on top.
Okay, let me update my notes real quick. One moment, ladies and gentlemen.
I'll add, too, that if the Seahawks do get by the Rams, I like them going all the way through the NFC. I think that they are a team on a mission. They've had lots of luck this year, but the worst matchup for the Seahawks is the Rams, and so if they make it past round 1, look out.
Yeah. Okay, next, we have the divisional round where me and Dad have it differently. So, because we picked different teams, obviously. So, Dad, I'll let you say your first divisional game while I update my notes. You have Kansas City hosting Tennessee. Are you going to say anything?
Well, I didn't realize we were going to start picking all the way through. Because how do you pick if you don't know who's playing?
We're just doing our predictions for the entire playoffs.
Okay, well, Kansas City obviously is the best team in the league. They have Patrick Mahomes. They have a good defense. They have a good play caller in Andy Reid. The Chiefs, I think it's very possible that they could go back to back as far as Super Bowl victories go. I love the Tennessee Titans, and I love what they have to offer with what's his face, Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
I almost said Eddie George. Derrick Henry.
You said Eddie George.
But I think that the Chiefs will come out on top in that one.
Okay. And in your other game, you have Pittsburgh at Buffalo.
Buffalo all the way. Pittsburgh. Like I said, I'm not even certain they're going to get past the Browns, but I think Buffalo is a great team. I think that anyone traveling up to Buffalo is going to have a difficult time. I think Josh Allen is a great, big, muscular, mobile quarterback, and he's got great targets like Stephon Diggs. So I look for Buffalo to make it to the conference championship game.
Okay. And in my divisional round, I have, for the AFC at least, I have the Browns at the Chiefs, and yeah, there's really nothing to say here. The Chiefs are the best team in the league. They got Patty Mahomes. They have like every good player in the league except for like the majority of the good players, but they have a lot of good players. They have Le'Veon Bell, Tyreek Hill, a couple others who I can't remember the names of right off the top of my head. But you're 14-2, and you get home field advantage. I'm going to go Chiefs, and in my other divisional game, I have Tennessee at Buffalo. I don't feel...
You want to pick Tennessee so bad.
I really, really do. I don't feel good about picking either of these teams. It's in Buffalo, so I think the Bills are going to come out on top.
That didn't sound very convincing.
That's because I'm not convinced. Okay. Dad, now your NFC divisional games. You have the football team at the Packers.
Washington at Green Bay. Green Bay is the toughest place to play in the wintertime. Aaron Rodgers, it's funny, he's a California kid who you wouldn't think would love playing in the cold, but he's been there so long now. It seems like it's become his home. And while I don't think he'll stay living there after his playing days, he sure thrives in that cold weather. And
He really does.
That's not going to stop. He's going to throw the ball all over the Washington football team. And, he can move when he needs to move. And Washington's front four will put some pressure on him. But he's much more mobile than Tom Brady, and I look for them to have great success and make it to the conference championship game.
Okay. In my divisional round, I have the Green Bay Packers hosting the Buccaneers because I don't think Washington's going to beat the Buccaneers, but we already talked about that. Basically everything he said about Aaron Rodgers. The Buccaneers did beat the Packers earlier in the season, but that was in Tampa. And I think now that the Packers are all healthy and it's going to be in the cold, snowy tundra that is Lambeau Field, I think the Packers are going to come away with it in a close game, but Packers. And that one I am confident about.
Sounded like it.
Yeah. We both now have the Seahawks at Saints, so we can converse about this one. So,
I'm telling you right now, the Seahawks will find a way. Russell Wilson will find a way against Drew Brees. I think that the Saints are a good team and that they have some really good players and they have some good history in the playoffs. However, the Seahawks have a really good, fast, young defense that's really finding its way. I think that Drew Brees is an older quarterback that doesn't move around and definitely does not have the arm that he once did. And I think that the Seahawks will have their way with them. It'll be a close game, but I see the Seahawks getting through this one 24-20.
Okay. Now I have this game too. And I don't feel good about picking either team here. I think it's going to be a fight. But I think that the Seahawks are going to come away with it. in this special thing that the NFL has called overtime. I'm going to go Seahawks. And now we both have the same conference championship games. We both have Kansas City hosting Buffalo and the Packers hosting the Seahawks.
Well, that's not very entertaining.
No, it's not. But, so let's talk about the AFC Championship first. Bills at Chiefs. For me, this one's tough. The Bills put up a fight against the Chiefs earlier in the season, but they did end up losing to them, and that was in Buffalo, and now it's in Kansas City, and the Chiefs are all healthy. Not even a fight here. Chiefs all the way blowout.
It's definitely not going to be a blowout, and I want to pick Buffalo really bad because I like them.
He likes the Bills.
I like Josh Allen. I like everything that they do this year. I like Stephon Diggs. But when you got Patrick Mahomes on the other side and the game's being played in Kansas City, I can't pick against Patrick Mahomes until he gives me a reason to. So I don't think it's going to be anywhere close to a blowout. I think it'll be a close game within 7 points. But I like Kansas City to come out on top and make it to the Super Bowl.
Okay. Now we both have the Packers versus the Seahawks in the NFC Championship. If it were in Seattle, I'd go Seahawks, but Russell Wilson has a history of not being very good when it's in Lambeau. I think that the Seahawks might put up a bit of a fight, but the Packers, I feel, are going to, I think the Packers are going to win. Close game, 28-20, but I'm going to go Packers.
I hate to say it because I would love to pick the hometown team, but I agree with you. I think the Packers are going to come out on top in this one for slightly different reasons. I think that the Seahawks will hold Green Bay like few teams have this year, but the Seahawks offense has been sputtering of late, and I don't see that necessarily changing in the playoffs, and certainly not at Lambeau Field. I think it'll be a close, low-scoring game, something along the lines of 17-14 or 21-17.
Sounds about right.
But I see the Packers making it to the Super Bowl along with the newly elected MVP, Aaron Rodgers.
Okay, so both Packers. Right, now we both have the same Super Bowl. Kansas City Chiefs versus Green Bay Packers in Tampa Bay. It's interesting because both these teams are cold weather, both have history playing in the snow in the late part of the season, December, January. But it's in a warm weather climate in Florida. So I think the Chiefs have a bit of a better chance because they have more experience playing in the warm, because they have two divisional opponents who play in warm weather stadiums with Las Vegas and the Chargers, Los Angeles, and it's just so warm in Florida and it's so cold in Green Bay and Kansas City in this time of year. But I think the Chiefs have a bit more experience playing in the snow or in the warm. And so I am going to pick the Kansas City Chiefs to repeat as Super Bowl champions.
Okay, so here's our disagreement. I think that Green Bay is on a mission. I think that Aaron Rodgers is on a mission. I think that he felt slighted when the team picked Jordan Love in the second round of the draft. I think that he wants to prove to the world that he's still the Aaron Rodgers that he has been. And I think that he's on a mission to win another Super Bowl and cement his name into one of the great quarterbacks of all time if he hasn't already done that. Yeah. I think that obviously weather's not going to be a factor because it's in Florida, and I think that Aaron Rodgers is going to come out on top along with the rest of the Green Bay Packers and bring another Super Bowl trophy up to the frozen tundra.
Okay, just so you know, it was the first round where they picked Jordan Love, not the second.
It was the second.
Look it up right now.
I'll look it up right now.
He's looking it up right now. So
well, you better fill some time now because I'm looking it up.
That's what I'm trying to do. So, yeah, those are our predictions. we said mostly the same.
He was drafted in the first round. And he was born the day before me.
Huh?
How about that?
So...
His parents are Anna and Orban. Who names their kid Orban? I've heard of Corbin, but even that's weird.
Yeah.
Unless you start in Major League. Anyway, he feels slighted, and I think he's out to prove something to everybody, and I think that they're going to take the Super Bowl down.
Yeah. Anyway, those are our predictions. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Yeah, I think that all of these teams, except for the Bears and football team, have a reasonable shot at winning the Super Bowl. But I think the Chiefs are going to do it, and Dad thinks the Packers are going to do it. So, thank you.